Hi, my name is Petrina, and I'm very excited to talk to you at the AWS Healthcare and Life Sciences Day about how Insilico Medicine uses high-performance AI platforms for drug discovery and development, and how AWS is a big part of that. But before I talk to you about how we use AI in drug discovery and development, I would like to take a step back and address what the state of drug discovery and development looks like today. So in the last 10 years, there have been remarkable breakthroughs that have taken place in medicine. We have seen the first FDA-approved gene therapy, the first engineered cell therapies, and most recently, novel vaccine therapies that were developed and approved in record time. But if you were to look at the industry from, say, the 1950s to today, you'll notice that there's been a steep decline in the productivity of the pharmaceutical industry, with as big as 10% drops in the ROI. And some of the major reasons for this, and there are a number, but the ones that I think are most important are the first thing is that biology is very complex and not fully understood. So we need to put more work into understanding that. New drugs are really must be better than what's already out there in terms of standard of care. So we need to be more innovative in terms of the new types of drugs that we design. And drug discovery in and of itself is an MPO problem, a multi-parameter optimization problem. We have to think of many different disparate attributes that the drug has to have. It has to be effective, it has to be potent, it has to go to the right place, and it has to be safe. And all of those different parameters have to be optimized at the same time. And that's a very difficult and challenging problem to address. But AI can support every step in pharma research and development, and there are a number of different players out there that are doing this. They're doing it in many different ways. They're coming up with better drugs through, for example, precision medicine. They're coming up with better pricing strategies, increasing productivity by including robots in the process, decreasing the time it takes to go to market, and increasing the return of investment in pharma research and development. And Insilico Medicine is one such company. We aim to support every step in pharma research and development. And the way we're planning on doing this, or we are doing this, is by combining a world-class leadership, science and technology team to develop unparalleled AI platforms that will address the issue of not understanding biology, produce innovative novel compounds, and be able to predict clinical trial outcomes. And then we validate these platforms, with our own internal preclinical programs. And this is what our innovative end-to-end drug discovery ecosystem looks like. We have a drug discovery team that is made up of AI scientists, computational chemists, structural biologists, medicinal chemists, and software developers that develop the state-of-the-art AI engines that produce novel targets, novel molecules, and have the ability to predict clinical trial outcomes. Our clinical operations and CRO management team takes these products and accelerates them through our discovery programs. We have 12 current programs, 2 are nearing IND enabling, and 5 have been prioritized. And we adapt this ecosystem and use it in collaboration with our pharma partners as well. But I'm here to focus on our AI drug discovery and development platforms, of which we have 3. There's Panda Omix, which is our omics research and target ID platform. Chemistry 42 is our generative chemistry platform for the design of innovative small molecules. And Insilico is our platform that we're currently developing to predict clinical trial outcomes. And like I said before, we validate these platforms by having our own internal pipeline that is the result from these platforms, novel targets, novel molecules. 5 of them I'm showing you here. You can see that they're in various stages of development. Each program has unique mechanisms of action, and all 5 of these programs that I'm showing you here are first-in-class drug discovery projects. So I'll begin by talking to you about Panda Omix, which is our platform that we've developed to discover novel targets. Panda Omix is a powerful AI hypothesis-generating engine that explores the connection between a gene and a disease based on multiple types of omics data and text-based evidence. And this platform has 3 strengths. It not only allows you to perform end-to-end omics data analysis and interpretation, it also allows you to perform quantified pathway analyses and identify novel targets. And the workflow is very simple and very streamlined and easy to plug into your existing drug discovery programs. You start off by searching for a disease or a data set of interest. You can use the platform to find correlations in the data, perform cluster analyses, perform differential expression analyses to find out what genes are being expressed in your disease tissues versus your control tissues, and which pathways are being activated and which ones are being deactivated. So you begin to understand what's happening in the disease. And ultimately, this allows you to explore how genes from your study are connected to a disease. and from that get the most promising drug targets. So once you have your targets in place, it makes sense that you want to design new lead molecules, new drug-like molecules. And that's why we developed Chemistry 42. So Chemistry 42 is a very unique platform in that it takes an MPO approach, a multi-parameter optimization approach, towards the design of de novo drug-like molecules or lead-like molecules. So not only can you design novel compounds, these compounds have been optimized for multiple different parameters. So we're addressing the second issue that I brought up earlier, which is having innovative drugs. And the third issue, which is the MPO problem when it comes to designing drugs. It uses existing experimental data, so all of your prior knowledge is useful and it's important to input into the platform, and combines this with physics-based methods and AI algorithms. You can also perform virtual screening using this platform of already existing compounds and compound libraries. And you can customize the platform for optimal performance against a specific target or for a specific therapeutic area. And much like our Panda Omix platform, there's a very simple, streamlined workflow that can be easily plugged into your existing programs. That consists of 4 steps. One is where the first step is that you configure the platform using the information that you have, and you tell the platform what kinds of molecules you want to generate in terms of their properties, physicochemical properties. And then you let the platform run. And the platform consists of 2 pipelines that work together. The generative pipeline basically explores the chemical space and comes up with new, innovative drug-like molecules. And the reward pipeline uses medchem and comchem methods that have been battle tested to filter the compounds and score them based on how they rank on their MPO score, or rather the different parameters that you've set up at the beginning of your experiment. And then at the end, you have your novel IP, your compounds that are clustered based on chemotype and ranked based on their MPO scores. Once you have your lead-like compounds, you'd like to be able to predict very early on how these compounds are going to perform in clinical trials. And that's why we developed Insilico, and we're in the process of developing this and optimizing it. This is a platform that allows you to perform clinical trial risk assessments and portfolio triage. So what Insilico does is, or what it is it's a multimodal data-driven forecasting platform for clinical trial outcomes predictions. It takes different types of data, omics data, structural data, trial protocols, preclinical data, and other text-based data, and runs it through our AI engine. And what you get at the end is an interactive report that gives you an idea of the safety forecast of for your target and your drugs, the probability of success of your clinical trials, an efficacy forecast, and it helps you identify which features that make up your clinical trial will impact the probability of the success of your clinical trial. And like I mentioned before, we validate these platforms by actually going through and coming up with our own internal programs that come out of the platforms. And I'd like to share with you some of our recent breakthroughs. The first of which is our fibrosis program. This is one of our most this is one of the programs that we're most proud of because it has come out of both our Panda Omix and Chemistry 42 platforms. We not only identified 20 novel targets for fibrosis, we prioritized 1. We put it through our generative pipeline, platform, Chemistry 42, identified novel compounds that we've put through in vitro and in vivo assays and tests. And we're all the way at, we've completed the animal studies, in vitro animal studies, and this took us 11 months to do, and with a budget of $2 million. So this is something that we're using to show that we are addressing multiple different issues that are currently acting as bottlenecks in the pharmaceutical industry, in the drug discovery industry. Novel target, novel molecule that was discovered and validated in a short amount of time with very little money. Our SARS-CoV-2 program is another one that we're very proud of. We started this last year, and in under a year, we have generated, through our Chemistry 42 platform, novel covalent irreversible inhibitors of the MPRO enzyme. They're not peptide-like. They have good metabolic stability. They're potent. They're very easy to synthesize. They have optimized ADME and PK properties. They're going to be orally administered, good exposure in the lungs, and they're easy to optimize. And the binding modes were confirmed through X-ray crystals. So right now we're running the PK studies in mice, and very soon we're going to start the in vivo efficacy studies in animal models. We're just waiting. in line for the opportunity for us to do that. So all of this would not be possible if it was not for our infrastructure, which is currently a combination of NVIDIA GPU infrastructure and AWS. All of our platforms are currently hosted on AWS, and there are many benefits that we have achieved, we have garnered from doing that. Some of which are the fact that AWS is reliable infrastructure means that we can count on the availability of secure servers when we need them for our SaaS-based solutions. We can quickly upscale instances and balance the computational load from multiple generations. We run a lot of calculations. We can quickly spin up new instances for new projects and collaborations. We often sign collaborations with pharma companies, and it's very convenient for us to be able to quickly spin up new instances of our platforms. AWS offers standard solutions for the maintenance of our cluster and our databases that save us both time and money. And the fact that they have encryption, backups, and replication all available out of the box is extremely useful to us. And of course, AWS offers a unified environment that allows us to easily install and maintain our software on multiple client sites. So we have clients that license our tools as well. And this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for our extremely intelligent founder, Alex Zhevorenkov, and of course, all of our my other colleagues at Insilico Medicine were also very, very intelligent and hardworking. So thank you very much for your time. If you'd like to find out more about our collaborations, our platforms, please get in touch with us. Our website is listed on this slide, and you can also find me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to connect.